don't think people will wonder that. I think people understood who Jimmy Garoppolo was, and also don't want to undercut that. Jimmy Garoppolo, while a San Francisco 49ers won so many games above his replacement. I know that's not like a football term or a football stat, but it is, I think, a baseball stat. And so when you think about the things that he do, get to a Super Bowl, be a pass away to Emmanuel Sanders from winning another NFC championship, he was really good. But Jimmy Garoppolo had a very low ceiling. That was the decision to move up to number 3. And now that you have Trey Lance, you expect him to elevate you eventually. Trey Lance doesn't have to get to the NFC championship this year. Trey Lance doesn't have to win a Super Bowl this year. He has to show that he has the capabilities of being a franchise quarterback who can make plays outside of the realm of the playbook. That is why they have him. Does it show dividends this year? Maybe not. But for the future, for the next decade, that's what they want. And Trey Lance has to go out and prove that he has the foundation to do that.
RG3, how good is he going to be?
Oh, I think Trey Lance is going to be really good. But listen, we can all stand up here and say people aren't going to say this because they didn't do that and they didn't have the same success with Trey Lance as they did with Jimmy Garoppolo in year 1. But not everybody is as sensible as we are. So, yes, if Trey Lance doesn't get them deep into the playoffs, NFC Championship game, people will wonder why didn't they just continue to work it with Jimmy Garoppolo. But I can tell you this, Trey Lance is going to be able to make the plays that Jimmy G made and the plays that Jimmy G couldn't make. And I think that's why Kyle Shanahan just really abruptly says, hey, this is a business decision that we made. We have moved on. Now, no matter how many times he says it's not awkward, it's still awkward because Jimmy G is still there. But Trey Lance is going to be in a structured system with a coach that loves him and appreciates him and is willing to step out there and say, this is your team. Go make the most of it.
Trey Lance, sort of a Josh Allen-esque skill set coming in is the way a lot of people, the evaluators, sort of looked at it. How about the Jimmy G of it all here? What are we expecting as far as his departure?
The 49ers still want to trade him to get the $26 million off the books, but every team in the NFL knows that eventually they're going to have to get rid of him. It's going to have to take something in training camp, whether an injury or something unforeseen, for the 49ers to get any compensation for Jimmy G.
And, of course, Heather, we all know that actually the biggest improvement in year 2 will be Zach Wilson of the Jets. Some things just don't even need to be said. This lost Orlovsky. Quickly, Diana, how about it? What are the early reports saying about Trey Lance there?
Well, Kyle Shanahan already said that this team reminds him of the 2019 team, that team that went 8-0 to start the season. Jimmy Garoppolo making some big plays in the playoffs and then, eventually getting into the Super Bowl. So it's already got a feel. But here's the thing you have to remember. Trey Lance right now, while he's learning, and he's still just learning, I'm not hearing, oh, my goodness, he's lighting it up. He's unbelievable. What I am hearing is he's practicing against a very, very good 49ers defense right now, which is just making him better every single day. So this certainly is going to take some time, but everything I'm hearing is it's all going in the right direction.
The comp coming in, Danny, in the draft for Trey Lance was Josh Allen. They were talking about all the physical tools in the world, all the lesser competition concerns, all that kind of stuff. And we've obviously seen the development of Josh Allen. But it took a little time. That's really going to be the question, is the time that it'll take for Trey Lance to get there.
But he's got such great support in San Francisco. There's a reason why this team went to the NFC Championship 2 out of the last 3 years. They're not going to ask him to do a lot. I think it's one of the more favorable quarterback situations in the NFL. This will still be a top 5 run game, and that's going to take pressure off him. They will move the pocket a ton like I showed on the touchscreen, and that will take a ton of pressure off him. They've got the best left tackle in football, the best tight end in football, one of the best, if not the best offensive weapons in football, and the best play caller in football. You're talking about a place that a quarterback is set up to go and play well, and I would tell you this. If this kid doesn't stink, Chris might be right about them winning the division. And I said this in the first hour, Greeny. Someone tell me when Kyle Shanahan's had a quarterback play poorly. It doesn't happen. And so for a division that is a very good division and a conference that is top heavy, San Francisco should not take any step back because of the physical talent. Jimmy Garoppolo operates the offense better, but 2 things that Trey Lance will bring to this offense that he didn't is the ability to run with the football in the zone read. And the second thing is, like I showed in the touchscreen, the willingness and ability to push the football downfield.
We will see it all. I have to let you guys go because Danny and Dominique are getting set.
It would behoove them to shut down any kind of negativity that is coming out of anyone in that building surrounding the prospects of Trey Lance, because that is career killer type of stuff if you do that. Not just for, well, really, not for Trey Lance. Trey Lance is going to get his opportunities, whether it be with San Francisco or someone else. But if you start doing those kind of things, you really shouldn't be in team building. You shouldn't be in front office work. You shouldn't be in coaching. This is a fantastic young talent right here, and an even better kid who fits perfectly with what you want to do. And when you listen to what guys like George Kittle say about him, and now Brandon Ayuk, and look, and everybody who you talk to up in North Dakota State, he is an A-plus individual that deserves everyone's support out there in San Francisco. I picked him a couple months ago as my dark horse, super dark horse MVP candidate.
Ooh. Okay. Well, there you go. Double down on it, Lou. Key?
So, Lou, just hear me out before you attack me, all right? I think he's going to have a phenomenal career. I think he's going to do wonders. There's no question about it. He has the most talented guy that I've seen in a very, very long time coming out of a small school. And I remember back before they drafted him, everybody was screaming, Mac Jones, Mac Jones, Mac Jones. They never wanted to get off that. I was dealing with my daughter's situation. I came back from that, and I was hearing about Mac Jones, and I said, they're not drafting Mac Jones. They're getting Trey Lance. And they're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. That being said, I would like to see him throwing with Deebo Samuel and not Brandon Ayuk. And the reason that I think he may struggle a little bit is because that isn't settled yet. They're still having issues convincing Deebo Samuel he belongs in San Francisco. Yeah. Now, what if Deebo Samuel decides that he wants to play bold and sit out? How is that helping the development of Trey Lance when your top receiver isn't there? Yeah, Kittle's there, and Brandon Ayuk is there, and Brandon Ayuk has struggled in the National Football League on a consistent basis. So that's why I pause it a little bit, and I say to myself, I don't know because of that. I just don't know. Jimmy Garoppolo had the guy in the lineup, and look what he looked like. Now imagine not having him in the lineup and asking a young player like Trey Lance to take you to the promised land.
Yeah, there's no doubt you want.
Now you can get me. Now you can attack me.
No, you know what? I'm not going to attack you because I agree with you 100%. You want all of that weaponry around him. You want everything in the toolkit that is supposed to be there to be available to him so he can then go out there and feel as comfortable as possible. And look, that's going to be on 49ers management and Deebo seeing if they can come together and find some kind of resolution to this contract stalemate. Because it's not, you're right, it would do nothing but hurt him. I'm just saying this, though. I think that the kid, you just want to be careful to make sure that there isn't any kind of negativity seeping out of any of the corners in their facility concerning whether or not they should have drafted him or they should have drafted Mac Jones. Because from my intel, look, there were people there who wanted Mac Jones.
Right.
There were people there who still think, you know what, let's just see how this all plays. It's what plays out here.
It was not clear all the way
exactly,
through.
Exactly. And Key, I'm not saying that's not that Trey wasn't the guy who some people wanted all along.
I'm just telling you, there's some people who wanted Mac. There's some people who wanted him instead. There's always, and you've been in these rooms, and you've seen where it's torn between coaches and other front office people or the players. I'm just saying, based on what Shanahan likes to do, that ain't it. Mac Jones is cool. He did a good job for the Patriots.